They still think he did it to himself. I remember it so well, like it was yesterday and not 10 years ago. I wish I never went there and I never will go back. Me and my friend used to go to the forest a lot. It was pretty big, but the area we hung out at was right next to our town and was generally pretty quiet, so we hung there a lot. We hadn't gone there for maybe a month or so, which was pretty weird for us, so we decided to go for a picnic with some of the food we had at the house. I remember first walking into there and how quiet it was, which was normal. Since only dog walkers were ever there, it was usually quiet, so we just walked around down to the closer lake, which was nothing pretty, just a small lake in the middle of some grass which wasn't comfy, so we kept walking down to a secluded area which had a small tree and a lot of area, so we sat down and ate, played around before it started to get more serious. The first thing I remember is hearing some voices not close, but I could tell they were male. They kept getting further away, so I thought nothing of it. I mean, it was a big forest, of course people would be there. So we finished with the food, I mean she did anyways. We packed up and walked down to another lake before an overwhelming stench hit me. For a second it smelled like death. That smells so bad. What is it? I said something like that. She shrugged, telling me she smelled nothing, so I let it go, thinking it could have been maybe a dead bird nearby that I was too close to. We walked for a couple more minutes till we got to another area. It was a gorgeous place with tall trees surrounding it, so I took a picture. My friend would jump in front of the camera smiling like a crazy woman before running down the path once again as I ran behind before slowing down. I felt scared for some reason. I never do really. I grew up with a tough family at times and I've never gotten scared until that moment when it felt off. I called for her back, saying she shouldn't run off, don't be so paranoid. She'd yell as she would turn to look over. I saw a bike nearby. It was weird as it looked new and like a one of a child's teen's bike, which was weird since most people keep stuff near to them all the time, especially bikes since they're known to be stolen a lot. I thought I saw a hat next to it and went to tell my friend. She went to take a closer look before calling out, "It's just a part of a rope." Strange. It was the part of a rope where it would start, is what I can describe it as. I thought maybe those people I heard before were playing a game with it, yet I still felt a weird feeling. I said we should go as I didn't want anything to happen to us, so I started walking to a clearing which headed to a road, but for some reason she didn't follow. I saw her face morph into one with such terror as she held her nose. I found this weird as she was known to be someone who was never scared until I heard a noise like a tree snap and a thump like something hit the ground, so I looked over, walking closer until a familiar smell of like rotting corpse hit my nose and then I instantly gagged before she pointed towards some trees. I saw a ladder on the floor, and half a rope attached to the tree. I wondered why it was broken until I looked down. It was a guy laying there, half the rope attached to his neck, and another two guys next to the tree who looked shocked as well. I heard one say something about along the lines of, "It was a dare, I didn't think he would do it," and the other snapped back, "We can't tell anyone, we'd be murderers." I stepped back, grabbing onto my friend. These guys looked maybe 15-16s. Me and my friend were both 12 and 13-year-old girls and both thin. No way would we be able to fight against them if they saw us, so we slowly started walking before we bolted onto the road. I remember seeing how shocked she looked. I still didn't believe what happened. No way that was real. I mean, I knew something was off, but I didn't think we would see that. We promised never to mention it to anyone else, and that's what we did. We spent the rest of the walk in silence, looking back every so often. I remember going home and laying in bed wondering when someone would find that guy's body. 2 days later it took. I was sitting down eating some food when my mum came in saying I shouldn't go to the forest because of the suicide that happened. I froze. Who was it? I'd asked. Some guy that went to the school close to me. There was a picture of him with him on a bike and I instantly remembered it was the one from the forest as well. Then another with 2 of his friends. I nearly threw up recognizing them from that day. It's been 10 years since I still can smell that terrible smell and hear the noise when he hit the floor. My friend committed 9 years ago. I've been by myself. I haven't told anyone. I won't ever. I sometimes see pictures of them. They look happy with their wife and kids. I'm not happy after that. I still can't forget that day. And I don't know how they have. Second story. Once upon a time, there was a brave cave explorer named Alex. He had always been fascinated by the mysteries hidden deep within the Earth's crust. One day, he embarked on a daring adventure to explore a legendary cave rumored to be filled with ancient artifacts and secrets. As Alex descended deeper into the cave, the air grew colder and the darkness enveloped him. The only source of light was his trusty flashlight, which illuminated the narrow passageways. The cave was vast and labyrinthine, with stalactites hanging from the ceiling and stalagmites rising from the ground. After hours of exploration, Alex stumbled upon a hidden chamber. It was unlike anything he had ever seen, ancient symbols and strange markings. In the center of the chamber, he discovered a peculiar artifact, shimmering with an otherworldly glow. Little did Alex know, this cave was not just home to forgotten treasures. It was also the dwelling place of a fearsome creature known as the Wendigo. As he reached out to touch the artifact, a bone-chilling growl echoed through the chamber. The Wendigo had awakened. Realizing the danger he was in, Alex's heart raced as he sprinted through the winding tunnels, desperately trying to escape the clutches of the Wendigo. The creature's haunting cries echoed behind him, growing louder with each passing moment. But no matter how fast Alex ran, the Wendigo was always one step behind. Its icy breath grazed his neck, sending shivers down his spine. With each turn, the cave seemed to grow darker and more treacherous. Finally, in a moment of desperation, Alex found himself trapped in a dead-end tunnel. The Wendigo loomed before him, its glowing eyes filled with hunger and malice. With a swift motion, the creature pounced on him. As his pained screams filled the cave and echoed out of the cave, people heard his cries but ignored it, and so Alex would die alone and scared. The cave remained a place of mystery and danger, reminding all who dared to enter of the perils that lurked in the shadow.